Doing these 10 easy steps will increase your milk production really fast. Hi, my name is Gabrielle. Welcome to my channel. I provide tips on childcare and all things necessary for motherhood bliss. Sometimes in a motherhood journey, we need to know what to do to increase our milk production. Sometimes you need to increase it from the very beginning, and other times you need to increase it when you're already into it and you believe you're doing everything right, but somehow you don't have enough milk. I have made other videos on breastfeeding, so I encourage you to check them out. I will place the links in the description. But for now, we're going to focus on these 10 easy steps that you can take to boost your milk production really fast. They're actually pretty simple things that you can do, so let's get right into it. Number one of the main keys to increase milk production is mental comfort and physical comfort. When your mind is at ease and your body is comfortable, your brain releases the hormone oxytocin. It is often called the happy hormone or the love hormone, which is necessary to produce breast milk. So to not be stressed about breastfeeding, every time that you are going to breastfeed your baby, just make sure that you're really comfortable, both mentally and physically. Achieving physical comfort is really easy. I recommend that you get a breastfeeding chair, and if it has foot support, it's even better. That way you'll ensure that your back is properly reclined, and it also helps to keep your baby comfortable too. Your baby's comfort is also very important because when a baby is not comfortable, it will be fussy and it will have trouble breastfeeding. I encourage you to check out my breastfeeding essentials board that I have created in my Amazon shop. The link is in the description. There you will find my favorite breastfeeding chair. It is also wonderful for baby bedtime. I rocked my babies in that chair for years to come, and they fell asleep in a flash. To ensure mental comfort or mental ease, so that you're calm and at peace when you're breastfeeding your baby, try to create a designated space for breastfeeding. Probably further along the road you won't need this once you become very experienced at breastfeeding. But at the beginning, it is very important to have a special designated space, a little haven of peace and calm and quiet, a comfortable little area where you will breastfeed your baby. You can even place a sound machine with peaceful sounds, or listen to your favorite calming music, or if you're into Baby Einstein and that kind of thing, you can also use that. Anything that makes you comfortable and calm and serene. You can also have some books there to read while you're breastfeeding. Some people like to scroll on their phone. I did that too. As long as it doesn't trouble you and brings you a little moment of quiet and me time, that is excellent for boosting your milk production. Nursing pillows are a must. Nursing pillows are very useful also to ensure that you're comfortable and that your baby is comfortable. It provides some rest for your arms, because when you're holding your baby while breastfeeding, your arms might get tired. Also, it helps lift your baby up to the right height, and it's a comfortable surface for your baby to lie down on. You can find some wonderful breastfeeding pillows in my Amazon influencers breastfeeding board. Comfort, as I said, is a must for having a good milk flow and good milk production. So this tip number 2 is also in line with tip number 1, because comfort helps release the hormone oxytocin, which boosts milk production and initiates the milk letdown. Tip number 3 is to breastfeed your baby on demand. This means that you will breastfeed your baby every time that it wants to. I know it sounds very demanding, and initially it will be, but that's okay, because that's the way the baby is telling your body that it needs you to produce milk. The more that the baby suctions on your nipple, the more that your body will produce breast milk. The baby suction on your nipples also stimulates the production of oxytocin. And don't worry, it won't always be such a demanding feeding schedule. As time goes by, you and your baby will find the right balance on when you will do your breastfeeding sessions. Slowly but surely, you will establish a breastfeeding routine. I don't believe in the advice of some nurses where it says that you have to breastfeed your baby only every 3 hours. It is essential, though, to breastfeed your baby at least every 3 hours so that your milk production maintains. But if your baby wants to feed at the 2-hour mark or even at the 1-hour mark, feed your baby, don't wait. This will ensure that your body produces more milk so that you never run out of milk to feed your baby. Eventually, you won't need to breastfeed on demand as much, but first it is very important to boost your milk production. Tip number 4 is to take advantage of the routine reflex. The routine reflex is when you touch your baby's cheek and he or her opens their mouth really wide to initiate a latch. The deeper the latch is, the more milk you will produce because the better your nipples will be stimulated and the more oxytocin you will produce. I made a video on how to use the routine reflex. I recommend you check it out here. Tip number 5 is to gently massage your breasts before each breastfeeding session. This will help you unclog any milk ducts and also facilitate the flow of milk. Tip number 6 is to use warmth to stimulate milk flow. Applying warm compresses or warm gel pads to your breasts before a breastfeeding session will also initiate the milk flow. Just be very careful to never use something that is too hot. You don't want to burn yourself. There are some wonderful breastfeeding gel pads by Lasinol that I highly recommend, and you will also find them in my breastfeeding board on Amazon. Check it out in the description. Tip number 7 is to drink lots of water. If you don't have any water in your body, how are you to produce breast milk? Breast milk is a liquid and needs water to be created. So staying very well hydrated is essential to produce more milk. And the more water you drink, the more milk you'll produce and the easier the flow will be. Obviously, don't overdo it. But when you're breastfeeding, you will definitely need to drink more water than usual. Tip number 8 is to eat lactogenic foods, better known as galactagogues. Galactagogues stimulate milk production. Some people say that this is a myth, but by personal experience, I can tell you that it is not. Some of those foods that will really help you with the milk production are oats. There are certain vegetables that also help, like greeny leaves, like spinach and kale. Those really help with milk production. Certain fruits stimulate milk production, especially dried fruits like apricots. And there are also spices and herbs like milk thistle, fenugreek or fennel, and certain teas like mother's milk tea. That one was a miracle worker for me. Every time that my milk production dwindled, I would take the mother's milk tea. I will also place it in my breastfeeding board on Amazon if you want to check it out. My milk production increased by at least 50% or more. Obviously, hydration has to do a lot with that advantage. It was a really good way to increase my milk production, and it always helped. In some places, you will find that certain nuts also stimulate breast milk production, but I caution you to be careful with those. Nuts can initiate an allergic reaction, and even though some people say that what you eat will not produce allergies on your baby, that is not true. I personally experienced an allergic reaction on my baby due to something that I ate. So be very careful. I recommend you stay away from nuts. They also say that beans and legumes help to increase milk production. The problem there is that they give you gassiness and they will also make your baby gassy. So if you don't want a colicky gassy baby, avoid legumes. Tip number 9 is to pump. Pumping in between breastfeeding sessions will tell your body that you need more milk. Your body will take a few days to catch up with the demand, but it will definitely increase the milk production. So when your baby is sleeping, you can pump, or after a breastfeeding session, you can pump to ensure that your breasts are completely emptied. If it doesn't stress you out, you can also pump on one breast while you're breastfeeding on the other. Sometimes babies get full on one breast and will refuse to eat from the other breast. Not getting that milk out of the other breast will tell your body that you don't need that milk, and therefore your milk production will decrease, and that's something you don't want. So if you're looking to increase your milk production, establish a good pumping schedule. Tip number 10 and final tip that I can give you to increase your milk production is to look at your baby or at pictures of your baby when you need to breastfeed or pump. When your baby is not present is when it comes most handy, just looking at a picture of your baby and thinking beautiful, loving thoughts. The thoughts of love for your baby stimulate milk production because they produce that happy hormone, oxytocin, which indicates to your body that it's time to produce breast milk. And something really funny is that sometimes even looking at water will produce the milk letdown. It happened to me several times where I served myself a glass of water and all of a sudden I was soaked. So your body just knows that hydration equals milk production. So those are two things that you can do as part of step number 10 to increase your milk production. And there you have it. As you can see, the general takeaway from all this is that mental ease and physical comfort are the key to increasing milk production. So it's also very important to focus on your self-care. When I started my breastfeeding journey, I was very stressed out and I was not able to produce enough milk for my firstborn. So take care of yourself. Find some self-care practices like yoga, meditation, and try to shift your mindset so that when you're breastfeeding your baby, it is a moment of peace, it's a moment of self-care, it's a moment of me time, it's a moment of just enjoying and being present in the moment with your baby. These are precious moments that don't come back, and it is wonderful to look back and remember how peaceful and how wonderful it was to breastfeed your baby. So if you want to have a successful breastfeeding journey, it's always important to find a way to make it enjoyable, especially if you are planning on breastfeeding in the long run, which I highly recommend. I breastfed my daughter for 3.5 years, and I probably would have gone longer, but it was time, and there was also some medical circumstances by which I had to stop. So mamas, don't give up. You can absolutely increase your breast milk production, and it will increase fast. Usually it takes 1 day to 3 days for the milk to start increasing. Your body takes a little bit to catch up, but it will. Just remember to stay calm, to take it easy, to not be hard on yourself, to find self-care, and to shift your mind to make these breastfeeding moments something absolutely enjoyable. I will be launching a course very soon on breastfeeding, so if you're interested, go to my page and download the free breastfeeding guide that I made with all the products that are necessary for a successful breastfeeding journey. And it also has these tips that I just gave you. I will also be launching a book called Breastfeeding Bliss. I will place the link in the description once it's ready for sale. It will be very affordable because I want you mothers to have a successful and happy breastfeeding journey. It is a wonderful moment of bonding with your baby, and it's something that I absolutely treasured, especially with my second child. I was more successful, but with both of them, I just had the most wonderful breastfeeding journey. And it's funny because usually with the second child, it's a little bit more difficult to have moments of peace while breastfeeding because your toddler is jumping all over you. But even with that, I just loved breastfeeding my kids, and I hope that you can enjoy it too. I produce videos, and I will continue to produce lots of videos on breastfeeding, how to get rid of breastfeeding pain, how to tackle all those struggles and hurdles that come when you're breastfeeding your baby. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I love providing tips for mothers, especially mothers of young children, to overcome the struggles and obstacles that show up during motherhood. And on that note, I recommend you check out the next video.